Welcome, everyone, to People on Dating. I'm your host, Will Morales. And for those of you who are tuning in for the first time, this podcast is about the ups and downs of dating and how to navigate through it. Today, my guest is Rinatta Paries.
That's it.
Oh,
Yep.
it's funny, Rinatta, I always say to myself, I'm going to ask my guests how to pronounce their name, and I never do. I wait till the show starts, and you see I bumble through it. So Coach Rinatta Paries is a singles, dating, relationship, marriage, and breakup recovery coach in practice for over 16 years. Rinatta, so far, thank you so much for being on People on Dating. I really, really appreciate it. How are you?
I'm good. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, today we have a great topic, what men want in a relationship. It's an article you wrote. I'll definitely put it up on the show notes. But tell us, how did you get here first? What was Rinatta's journey to become a therapist, a coach, to get men what we want?
And women what they want and people
Yeah.
what they want, right? So, okay. So first of all, let me correct the one of the things you said. So at the point when I wrote the article, first time I wrote that article, I was in practice for 16 years. At this point,
Yeah.
I think I've been in practice for more like 25 years, I
Okay.
think. So something like that. Okay.
Right.
So how did I get here? Well, relationships were hard for me. I was looking for the thing that I want to do in life. I was in college. I was going to be a lawyer. And then I got very disillusioned with that. So kind of graduated with a, general BA. And then I ran across Coach University. So this was sort of the first wave of how coaches came into being was Coach University. Thomas Leonard started this school that he
Mhm.
ran out of his travel bus. And I was one of the first 700 students at
Right.
Coach University because that felt like the right thing to do.
Yeah.
And then when I was looking at what I wanted to specialize in, relationships were a no-brainer for me because I had already found myself studying relationships and reading about relationships and working on myself. So
Yeah. Well, I'm glad you're here. And and today's topic, like I said, I talked about it earlier, what meant one in a relationship. And again, I'll put it up on the show notes. So when you wrote this article, and we'll go over the topic, the six key points you made, what was the impetus for you to write this article? Was it men that you talked to, women that you talked to when you started doing coaching and therapy? What was that drive for you to write this article?
I think that people are very confused about each other all the time,
Mm,
as if we are all a mystery to each other. So
yeah.
I think I even wrote a companion article on what women want. I believe I have. If I haven't, I should.
Oh
Um,
yeah, definitely. All us guys need to read that too.
right, exactly. I'm pretty sure I did though. If it's not, I'll have to go back and look. But that was the impetus is just to, it's not that men are not complicated. I think we as human beings are complicated,
Right.
but we as human beings have just basic needs. And I think especially in our culture, it's really easy to vilify men, to say, well, all men want is, to just get laid, or all men want is, an arm ornament, basically, a
Yeah.
woman that looks super attractive, that's all that matters. And I just, I mean, there are definitely men that only want that, but I think in general, men want a lot of what women want,
Right.
which
Okay.
is a good relationship that
Yeah.
feels good. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and so let's get with the first point you made. Honest communication. And it's funny because women usually say that they want that from us. I'm gonna be honest with you. I rarely hear any guys say that about their women, and the guys I talk to. But you hit that this is a great point. So talk more about that. Like how was that approach to you when you wrote this article? Honest communication is a top priority for men.
Well, can I ask you a question, Will?
Yeah, of
I'm
course,
curious.
please.
Okay, so you read that, and did that resonate with you?
Yes, that resonated with me because I can't read a woman's mind. Um, And
right,
sometimes some women beat around the bush, and then I have to zigzag and try to find out what they
right,
mean.
right,
And if I ask, do you mean this? And then I might say it sarcastically, which is not
right,
right for me because
right,
I'm frustrated that just give
right,
me the straight answer. Sometimes I
right.
even say, just get to the point, and I'll say it like that. And
Yeah,
I don't want to. So over the years, I've gotten better. I'm like, no, tell me what you want. I mean,
right,
communicate with me. So yeah, that definitely hit a spot for me.
right, right. And I think this is again, the truth about all human beings. We just, we might be happy to say yes and do whatever it is the person wants, or we might want to negotiate, right? But first you got to know what's on the table, what is actually being asked of you.
Mm.
And that kind of like beating around the bush, hinting, or, it's a funny story. I was talking to someone last night and they said, if my, like this one particular person, instead of inviting people for dinner, will send them a text about what's being cooked for dinner, like that, expecting the other person to say, oh, can I come over? That sounds good.
Yeah,
Right, like that. I mean,
yeah,
it's just stressful, anxiety producing, and frustrating. So it's not surprising that when men get unclear communication, what they end up coming back with often is frustration or sarcasm,
right.
because it's like walking to a minefield.
Yeah, yeah, you hit it right on the head because I mean, to me, if somebody texts me, this is, what's for dinner, or this is what I'm cooking, I'm like, am I invited, or is that what you're cooking for your guests? So yeah,
Right,
I
right,
definitely believe, just get to the point and all that. So number two, excuse me, men want self-sufficient, secure, and confident women. So for me, yes, I'm good with that. Sorry, Renata, I'm fighting a cold. Um, as a man, I definitely want self-sufficient. I'm okay with that. Sometimes they say, "Oh, independence." That's like a buzzword these days that I've been hearing. Most men say if they hear a woman say, "Oh, I'm independent. I'm self-sufficient." But yeah, I mean, if you got your own job and you get your own degrees, and I mean, for me personally, I don't care about that. I'm happy that you
right,
have that, but that's not gonna uh make me want to pick you. It's your character, it's the communication. Sure, how you look is gonna play a little
right,
part of it. But yeah,
right,
this was a good one. A confident woman is good. I don't want her to be insecure. Who are you talking to? Who is she? Where do you know her from? Oh, how come
right.
you got this text? So
Yeah,
this was a pretty good one too.
yeah. And I mean, the way that you talked about it makes me want to address a couple of different sides.
Sure.
I think there is sort of an epidemic of infidelity in our
Mhm.
culture, which, I think it's bad for the people that are doing it and the people it's being done to. This is the thing that's sort of invisible. Because if you are, the new popular term side chick or side, I don't know what the guy version of that is, okay? Who the person that's lying, it's got two people, that person is also experiencing stress. They're
Mm,
causing themselves stress, and they're causing their relationship stress. So there's that. I think no matter how confident a woman is, if she senses that a guy is not into her or has some sort of interest on the side, she's going to be insecure, rightly so,
yeah.
because her body, her nervous system is telling her something's off. So
Right.
that kind of insecurity, I think, is important for women to listen to. On the other hand, there are women that will get into a relationship not because they actually value the man in front of them, but because they want to be in a relationship
Right.
or because they want to be taken care of. And I think men do not want to be used as the instrument of getting the things that women want in life, like every human being wants to be loved and wanted for themselves, not the benefits they provide.
Yeah, I think the term I think it's sugar daddy. Is that what it's called for men? I think it's called sugar
Yeah.
daddy. I think it's sugar daddy, where you have a couple of side women there, and you pay for their bills and all that, but you're pretty much roaming around, and so
Does
I
that
think that's the
sound
term for us.
exhausting? Does that sound exhausting? I mean,
Yeah.
maybe think for a little bit, but it's just exhausting. Who's got energy for that? But I mean, people can do whatever they want.
Yeah, no, I get it. This one was probably would have been number one on my list. Men want a
Yeah.
manipulation-free relationship. And I've been involved in that where women will use maybe their sexuality to hold off on it. To say, oh my God, you don't love me, you don't want to be with me. Oh my God, you're gonna go over there and not gonna take me. How come I can't go with you? So I that stuff that me and some of my friends talk about, we that stresses us out more so than pretty much any, even at the hint that you might be cheating, just the manipulation and playing the game on us. So
Yeah.
if you could touch base on that.
Yeah. I talk to women all the time when I'm working with women. I talk to women all the time about being honest, and I don't mean like she's cheating to be honest that she's cheating, because if you've got cheating in the relationship, you've got problems. You don't have a healthy relationship. I mean, that's it. You cannot
Right.
have a healthy relationship on top of cheating. So we're not even really talking about that. Okay. But, subtle manipulation looks like, I'm not going to tell you that I am lonely or jealous. I'm going to hint, or I'm going to be mad, or, these kind of things I think are just unhealthy. Unhealthy, right? It's just
Yeah.
not, it doesn't lead to a good relationship. So when I work with women, I talk about that a lot, about just talk about what you need, take the risk, talk about what you need, ask the guy for, I mean, men like meeting women's needs in
Right.
general, right?
Yeah, no,
When you,
100%, 100%. I think
right,
also, and what we call on the manipulation side is to try to change us. You met us this way, because I remember this one woman I dated, and I'm a sports guy. So on Sundays in the winter, I like watching football. One time she mentioned, oh, you like my ex, and I'm like, and I knew right there it was going to be a problem. You got me for 6 days. You could watch football with me. I'm going to watch your programs with you, but football is once
yeah,
a week. I know this football's on 3 times a week. I don't need to watch 3 times a week. Let
right,
me watch Sunday.
right,
That's it. It's a rest day for us. So I think that bothers us. Is like, hey, you could watch the game. I'll explain it to you. I'm okay with that.
right, right. I think people would do really well when they're getting into a relationship, in those first, I mean, it's like, people go out on a date, they're looking for a partner. And there's a lot of this, will she like me? Will he like me? As opposed to, let me be who I am and
Mm,
see if we are a natural match.
yeah.
I just think, it might be valuable to say, hey, listen, my Sundays are like my religion. You know, you can have me 6 days a week, but Sunday from this time to this time, you can sit next to me, but this is what I'm doing. So it's a given,
Yeah.
And then if the person tries to change you, I mean, that's information, right?
Right. Yeah. To me,
Uh,
I'd look as a red flag if they,
yeah,
and that's, and I wouldn't want that, because I wouldn't want, if she wants to watch, any type of movie, whether it's a chick flick or anything, I'm fine with that. I'll watch it with you. I'm not gonna,
yeah,
but like you said, let me get Sundays. That's it. I'm asking for one time. I don't need to watch a
yeah.
Monday night game. I don't need to watch a Thursday night game. Unless my team is playing, then that's a different story.
Right,
All
right.
right.
Well,
So,
yeah, but being clear about those things that are there's a word for it that I can't remember, but like your touchstones, like this is the way my life is and I like it. On the
right,
other hand, though, there is this other piece where women tend to pull men towards healthier dynamics in relationships.
right.
Men resist that a lot,
Unfortunately, we do.
right? But that is actually, not that you want your partner to be your therapist, but if a woman says, "Hey, this part of our communication is not working," it's probably not a bad idea to
Right.
say, "Okay, well, let's go check out a therapist." see if
Mm,
we can improve our communication, because as human beings, we can always benefit from more growth, more
right,
connection, more healthy relationships.
right.
And what I think people don't know is, people sort of think about, or men, for example, think about, well, if I go to a therapist, that means there's something wrong with me.
Mm,
Or if I go there to a therapist, it's like maybe there's just room to grow.
right. Yeah,
Because
you
this is
can't
what
take
I
it the negative. Yeah, you can't take it as a
yeah,
negative.
yeah, this is what I know. So I am both a coach and a therapist. I'm a therapist in Washington State. I work with couples. I do the same kind of work. In other words, I work with same population, individuals, singles, people who are going through a breakup, and people in relationships and marriages. And I know when I work with couples as a therapist, by the time we are done, they are off. They are in an incredibly better place,
Mm,
an incredibly better place where they are having the best relationship they could ever have, as opposed to some terrible thing happened to them in therapy. So I'm
right.
just saying, it's a very positive experience if you work with the right person, of course.
Yeah, it's
So
always the key. Number four, men want growth, personal responsibility, and ownership. Definitely. For us, we don't want you to like, oh, it's so and so's fault, or it's your fault, gaslighting us or whatever. So yeah, this one was also a touchy subject for some of us guys.
yeah,
Just woman up and apologize. If something you did something wrong, we apologize. Maybe some guys don't, but I think if a woman, if they did something wrong, just apologize. I think it'll show us like, okay, you know what, she cares. We're cool.
yeah,
Let's move forward. So
yeah,
yeah, let's touch base on that one.
yeah, yeah. I like the woman up. I like that. I like the that was good. That was good. Um, I think yeah, it is very important that both men and women own their part in whatever goes wrong, because that creates deeper bond. So when you can own when you have, put something into the relationship that is harmful or
Right,
hurtful, then you bond deeper. So again, when I work with women, I really encourage that, what was your part? Where's your part? I think it's just really good for both people to answer the question, where is your part? What did you do to contribute to that? How can you how can you clean your side of the street?
right. No, perfect. It um do you in your coaching and your therapy sessions and all, do you find that maybe some people, whether it's a man or a woman, they find it difficult to say sorry because they might be in their mind showing weakness?
Yeah, I think how it works is that um, when people get confronted, they sometimes feel attacked.
Mm,
And the attack creates anxiety, and the anxiety creates a desire to fight. So the defensiveness and uh, the desire, the kind of the pushback and the lack of ownership is usually fear-based a little
mm.
bit, you know? So when
Okay.
people become defensive, I think it's because the confrontation is scary, and I mean, people do have trouble saying I'm sorry and owning what they've done. Not everyone. But you know what helps? It's really funny. Just taking a deep breath and
Uh,
remembering that if you own your part, your partner will be grateful.
right. Yeah, I definitely agree there.
Yeah,
This one was a great one. Um, Men want fidelity and commitment to the relationship.
right.
Yeah, I mean that's what we want. To be honest, Renata, and we're talking with Renata Paries. Today's topic is what men want in a relationship. I think the hardest part for some men uh, is when a woman has a woman's night out. That just gives us a little suspicion. I hate to say that, um, but in my view, I'm okay. She has friends. I'm okay.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know, I think you got to go out once in a while with your friends and
Yep.
talk and have a girls' night out. I'm okay with that. Now, if you're going to a club and you're looking to dance and then you're wearing the cutest skirt, and I'm like, wait a minute, are you going out dancing or are you going out to meet someone?
Right.
So
Yeah.
there, most of us have problems with that. But like I said, if you dressed up regular in a pair of jeans and a nice blouse, whatever, sweater, I think I'm okay with that. It's just when you start dressing up sexy. So I think this is a good one. Men want fidelity and commitment to the relationship.
Right. Well, don't we all want
Yeah.
fidelity?
Oh, definitely. No, definitely.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, so the reason that I put that in there in particular is because in a culture where infidelity is so rampant, it's hard to believe that men want fidelity. Or maybe how women think about it now is men want fidelity from women, but they are not willing to return it. But I think the reality is that a lot of men still really just want that one person and to
Right.
just to settle into the relationship and get on with the rest of their life.
Yeah. It's expensive to date 3 or 4 women at a time.
Well, and exhausting, I'm sure exhausting and nerve wracking, even though it might be entertaining. Yeah.
Yeah. In your studies and again in your sessions, um, I've been hearing now, especially in this dating pool of younger people, uh, men sometimes ask women, and I'll talk about maybe they're under 35, 30,
Yeah.
25, what's a woman's body count? And yeah, so you know where I'm getting at. Um, and to me, it's like,
It sounds like how many people you've killed. That's why I'm laughing.
it is a funny term, but I'm telling you, Renata,
Right.
when I first heard this term, I don't know if it was this year or last year. It might have been even late last year when I started hearing body count. I'm saying to myself, Jesus, dude, why do you want to know? I remember Chris Rock,
Yeah.
the comedian, said something about this maybe 10, 12 years ago. He goes, "Why do you want to know? You're not discovering anything new. Just glad you're with her now." And he said, whatever number she gives you is going to be too much anyway for you. So for me
Right.
personally, I don't want to know. Especially I'm older now. I expect it to have, relationships. So
Right.
I'm not gonna care. I'm not gonna ask. As long as she don't ask me about mine, then there's no issues.
Yeah. You know, this touches on a sort of a different topic a little bit. Okay.
Okay.
So, you can ask somebody what their body counts, right? But why are you really asking? What are you really asking when you ask that?
I thought about that too. I did a show on that, a solo show. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, Renata.
It's okay.
And I just thought, I'm like, are you maybe in competition with someone? Do you wanna like compare numbers? I don't know. That's what I thought. I thought it was maybe some insecurity there too.
Well, and maybe it may be that, right? But there could be a different question. Can I trust you? Are you
Mm,
safe? Do you have a low enough count where, okay, maybe you've only been with 5 guys or 7 guys and you're, in your mid 30s or in your 40s, maybe you're a more trustworthy person. Are you someone who's going to leave me in 3 months?
right.
For 6 months when you've worn me out and you've sort of, used me up, that you're going to throw me away? I wonder if there's that question. And the answer is if the person you are with, if the woman you're with can really connect and level and be straight with you and be present and not be manipulative and just be with you, like, there's a real person.
Right.
And it doesn't really matter what her body count is or what her past is. If she's right there and she's grounded and she's present, and if the connection feels good and you're not, you're not sort of pretending that she's someone, she's someone. If the connection is solid,
Right. Yeah, no,
then you
no, I
can
get it.
trust
Yeah.
them. Then you can trust them.
Yeah, no, exactly. Like I said, to me, that's not even a non-issue. I think now this generation that are under 30, the new millennials, I guess for the men, that's more important for them. Um, I don't know what to tell you guys. She's gonna know men before she met you. So,
Yeah.
whether you want to pursue it, then that's up to you. If you're gonna be insecure about it, then don't even date anymore and just stay home and watch sports. You know what I mean? So no, but it's true, right, Renata? I mean, give me a
Yeah,
break. I mean,
yeah,
it's gonna drive you crazy.
yeah,
And the final one, which is a great one, men want women who know how men need to be treated. And
yeah,
for us, it's just a drama-free life, just stress-free. Like somebody had said, I saw somebody, I think it was on TikTok, and I don't want to say a curse word, but she said, I don't want to make a man's life hard. I want to make his body
yeah,
part hard. You know what I mean?
yeah,
And so this way he doesn't make my eyes wet. He makes my
yeah,
nether regions wet. And I was
yeah.
like, wow, you know what? That's what men want. We want a drama-free life. I know it's going to be issues. I know we're going to have arguments. I know there's going to be some disagreements. I know they might be not talking for a couple of hours. That we might not even look each other, or if we look at each other, we might give each other a dirty look until somebody decides, hey, let's talk
Enough.
about this. Yeah, enough is
Yeah,
enough. Yes, go ahead. I'm
yeah,
sorry.
yeah, yeah, yeah. No, no, that's. I was just finishing your thought. Yeah, like enough of the fight. Right. And I think what I was trying to say is men want women who can not only focus on themselves, but have
Mm,
enough bandwidth to be aware that a man in her life is also a human being, also has needs, also has values, also has preferences,
mm,
that he's not just there to meet her needs,
right,
that he also has a heart, also has a nervous system, also can sometimes feel anxious or stressed. And you have to be careful. We have to be, as human beings, we have to be careful with each other's hearts,
right. Yeah, at the
right?
end of the day, that's the most important thing. Yeah, because
Right.
I think if a heart is broken and damaged in a way where you might carry that to the next relationship, then it's not fair for that other person because you're bringing your baggage from the last person to the next one, and I don't think that's fair because I've done that. It's been done to me, and it's definitely not a good feeling. You know?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think to a certain extent, we all do that anyway, even though it's
Yeah,
not fair because you kind of can't help it.
yeah,
You know, you bring it into the next relationship, hoping that it's going to be, not confirmed. In other words, let's hope that however bad it was, it isn't going to be that bad in the next relationship.
yeah. No,
That, yeah,
you hit it right on the head.
yeah.
Yeah. Well, first of all, Renata, I want to thank you so much for being on People on Dating. I really, really appreciate it. And before I let you go, talk more about your therapy sessions.
Well, so I am sorry. What do you mean? Talk more about my therapy sessions. So I am a marriage and family therapist in the
Uh,
state of Washington. And if people want to find me as a therapist, if you are in the state of Washington and you're looking for a therapist, now my practice is super busy. I rarely have openings, but I could potentially. Let me know. You found me on Will's show, Will's Morales show, and you can find me on Psychology Today. Just type in my name,
that sounds good. And
Washington State. And then in terms of coaching, is that what you
yes,
were?
I was going that with that. Yes, you read my
Yeah.
mind.
Yeah. um, so getrelationshipsright.com is my website, and people are interested in working with me. All you have to do is hop on my website, and then under individual coaching, click on Get Clarity Session and reach out to me that way. And I usually do a consult with people or a Get Clarity session to see if we're a good fit to work together.
All right, sounds
And
good.
we go from there.
Was that?
And then we go from there.
All right, sounds good. Well, first of all, Renata, I want to thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule to talk to People on Dating. This was definitely eye-opening. I really, really appreciate it.
Thank you, Will. Thanks for
Mm.
having me.
Yep, my pleasure. Bye-bye. Well, everyone, that was Rinatta Paries, and you can find her at getrelationshipsright.com. That's getrelationshipsright.com. Renata, thank you so much for being on People on Dating. Much appreciated. You can find me on peopleondating.com. That's peopleondating.com. Check out our past shows and check out our blog. Also, when you get a chance, please go to our YouTube channel, People on Dating. Please subscribe, like it, share it. Please, please, please. Also, you can find me on Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, and Spotify. Anyway, guys, on behalf of people on dating, Will Morales. Until next time, thanks everybody. Have a great day, and remember, it's just a conversation, no judgment. Bye.